Stream has been launched. Social posts are going out.
We are good to go.
Stream appears to be stable. Welcome to BluePopStream!
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Scourge of the Dragon Sea. I feel like pretty soon we'll start moving towards the sea again. Probably. Who wants to talk about what happened last session, both for the audience and the party member who wasn't here last week?
I feel like I should get my point of inspiration that I used back, so... So after the interaction with our patron from the previous week, Ithvuk brought him to Elnan's door, and we were
did not bring him here.
Well, one of you brought the other.
First one, then the other.
Yeah.
They arrived together.
Yeah, we were greeted with the consequences of my hesitancy to follow the ask of my patron, and I was forced to finally confront him. But luckily, the moment that I've been waiting for quite some time, aka the new pact with the elven spirit within the True Seeker bow, finally took place. I rejected Aldrim of Trust, and we started fighting him. After a couple of not-so-great rolls, he succeeded in using his shiny magic rapier to do what pretty much looked to us like take his soul and leave his body dead on the ground. We attempted to revivify, did not work, had to try, and it pretty much ended with us bringing his body back into his house.
I think you're missing some points from the dialogue that happened prior to combat.
Yes, I know. I don't remember everything super clear. My memory is not great.
He also told you, because Adema quite defiantly was asking what he wants, he's trying to become a lich.
Yes.
Classic.
Yeah. Can you imagine a vampire lich? How cool would that be?
It'd be pretty cool.
For us, not cool.
For the living, probably not great. Yeah, go ahead and take your inspiration.
Thank you.
Barry,
Yes,
you were sleeping through all of that.
apparently.
You were real tired. That exhaustion level, just creeps
Oh,
up on ya.
that is true. I was
you go.
exhausted. Yep, makes sense.
Yep.
Ithvuk is currently at the cart having an existential crisis because he
Yes, you are correct. Are you doing anything aside from sort of like raging at that existence?
At the moment, he's just staring off into space with a dumbfounded look on his face.
Okay, cool, nice. We'll get back to you if you want to change that or come into the house or whatever. You let me know. What is the conversation like right now in the house?
I think Simon's feeling personally guilty for not being able to stop it.
Adema, Kai, how do you guys feel right now?
Kai is curious as to why he was singling out Aeonin, and then after his death left us alive and took off.
Adema? Check that you're not muted.
How the hell did he even get here?
There. So, everyone has questions. I believe now is the time to ask them and discuss things. Or rather, I imagine you guys don't really want to wait any longer on all of this.
Do we know where he was even going specifically? Did we want to pursue him? Try and get Elnen's soul back if we can.
I don't know if you were there, but we didn't exactly do too well on the offensive front.
Well, we were a person down.
Speaking of, are you guys waking me up?
We tried. You were out.
Well, right now. If you're back at the house.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Or I guess, hey, if you guys don't want me to know, that's fair. That's fair. I'll just sleep. Continue to sleep.
I don't think any of us don't want you to know. I just think
Sleep is more important.
You're in the house.
I think the assumption was we tried to wake you up earlier. You weren't responding, so we figured you needed the sleep. So we were just gonna let you wake up at your own pace.
It's true. Breaking heads is a full-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I imagine the commotion outside, you probably might have woken up by now on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my assumption when you kick in a door with a body in hand, having freshly asses beaten. It's
freshly beaten ass.
So I guess I'll start off by groggily waking up and then seeing like what is awaiting me and like immediately snapping to attention and be like, what the fuck?
Simon recaps what he's able to put together from what happened.
And sorry, is Ithvik with us? Or is he not in the house?
He is not currently in the house.
Where is that fucking blue worm?
Well, shit.
Ithvik!
I'm not gonna answer. I'm not even paying any attention.
Kyoshi in the chat.
Blue worm.
My heart wanted to say twink, but I stopped myself.
Well,
She didn't say that. But me, Kay.
That's the OOC version.
Anyway, did someone go to get Ithvik at this point?
gonna have to.
I think Simon's just gonna be like on his knees next to the couch where he put Elnen's body, just sort of lost and replaying the scene in his own mind to even really pay attention at this point.
Valid. So who goes?
I'm trudging outside the house. I need to get a hold of Ithvik at the very least to know what the hell just happened. Presumably, I'm seeing him still in his catatonic state. I'm not sure what the.
Marcus?
yeah.
It's probably been a few minutes at this point.
Are you good? Are you coherent? If I snap my fingers in front of your eyes, are you gonna focus, or are you just staring off into space still?
He'll pay attention to you if you give his attention.
Well, to that end, I'm grabbing you by the shoulders. Ithvik, what the hell happened?
He snaps to attention, still clutching at his horribly burned arm.
Self-inflicted.
You do it to yourself.
Just want that out there.
Yes, it was completely my fault, but still.
Wait, how is it self-inflicted?
I shoved my arm in a wall of fire.
He wanted to trigger one of his own abilities by getting hit with fire.
It was really cool.
I see.
But also, yeah.
If I take fire damage, I can fly. Unfortunately, the only fire present was a wall of fire.
Yeah.
And it burned.
Very much. I'm a half of it.
Also, Kai set the vampire on fire. Just to kick off the fight, it was amazing. Anyway, carrying on.
Amazing.
Well,
Amazing.
I,
Amazing.
I He's going to reach down to his waist and hand Edema back the bag of holding.
Oh, what the fuck? What? Ithic, what have you done?
Good timing for
Was
Overkill to use a
trying.
gunshot sound in my chat.
I like it. I like it.
Try to bargain for Simon's freedom, but it clearly didn't go to plan.
What? Wait. Simon's freedom from the man who just, quite frankly, kicked our asses and murdered at least our bounty.
Wasn't
Oh.
expecting him to just appear.
Why would you make a deal with someone that's blatantly Barry's mother? For the love of Christ. Can I sift through the bag? Is the fucking seal even still there?
As you're looking for it, it is still in there.
Alright, come along. We gotta figure out what to do now. I'm going to walk back into the house, throw the bag on the table, and place the light seal on there. Does it even glow still?
Yes, it was when he last described.
It glows very faintly. Like, it's not nearly as bright as it was when it was still planted. But it is. Still does seem to be some light coming from it.
Okay. Well, that's good, I guess.
Well, if he's already out, does putting it back even accomplish anything?
Well, that depends, I suppose, on how he got put away in the first place.
Would also like to remind you, I didn't just pluck it; it got cut. So
Yep.
What?
I didn't just pull the flower up; it's cut in half.
Like he cut the stem rather than like digging it up.
Right.
Oh, then let's just go patch it up with some tape and glue and it'll be right as new.
God.
I need a moment to think. I'm going to go sit, and by that I mean ponder over my spell book for a moment. You
Sure,
carry on.
Out of character, does this include changing your current like prepared spells?
Yes.
Okay, I figured. All right.
I just want to put it out there that you mentioned the reason you did all that just to Edema while you're outside, so Simon still doesn't know that.
Yeah, are you in the house yet?
Yeah, they've come inside. Adema came inside and put the flower like on a table.
Okay.
So, potential redemption stories are not high on my priority list right now. More on of what we do next. But if you can and probably should tell your side of the story.
I'm sorry. I didn't think this whole thing through. I was just trying to help.
How was this going to help?
You. I was trying to get you out of your fucking deal.
Well, if that's the case, I'll say that I appreciate the effort, but you maybe should have come to me to talk about it before doing it for me. Clearly, as we can see, as well-meaning as that may have been, didn't quite come out with positive results.
I was gonna say ends and means. What was your plan?
I was going to take the flower, go back to the portal, and take it to him. Wasn't expecting him to just appear out of nowhere.
Oh, so you were just gonna make a decision on your own to give that fucker what he wants?
Didn't we, like, posit out loud while we were standing around the light seal that if we plucked it, he would be free? We were pretty clearly under the idea
He wasn't
that...
in the room, to be fair, out of character.
Oh, okay.
Because you were in there, I was at the
room.
doorway. No one else is actually in there except from Evil Chick and Dragon.
Okay. Logic
Well,
checks
as
out
far
then.
as Facebook was aware, it was just a flower.
I can't say I can refute the logic then.
I'm not sure about just a flower, though. Hence the now recently disposed corpse did mention it was kind of a big deal.
We knew it was a big deal. We knew it was important. It was in the middle of this temple of the sun, so clearly it was of some import. Also by merit of the fact of him wanting it. Anyway, unless someone wants to pull out some time magic out of their ass, we need to just focus on what we're doing now.
We need to know how he came to be sealed. I may be able to put him back, but there's nothing keeping him there if the flower is here.
So I guess first step is put the seal back, or maybe we put it back after we discover the ritual by way of sealing him. Might be part of the process. Where do we even go, or who do we even talk to discover all that?
Well, there was a entity of some sort at the temple last time we were there. The winged one. Don't recall the name.
Kirkimo, I think his name was. I have his whistle that he gave me to summon, but I don't think it summons him specifically. Yeah, it was to summon a Coatl. But if I use it, there's like a 10-day cooldown on it, so...
I don't know. Never nixed that idea.
Maybe we just go back to the temple, do the same thing we did last time, and attempt to contact them and see what they think of the current status of affairs.
You mean perform another funeral rites? Sorry, I didn't mean to speak over you.
Not necessarily a funeral, we did, but that's already been done, but just like, general prayer to the same entity. Or like a prayer for guidance or knowledge or wisdom. I don't know, I'm not super versed in how proper religion works.
Wait, who needs the bird group? I just looked at chat.
The vampire needs
So
some bird
the
cream.
vampire after being lit on fire. Okie dokie. Cool. So, what are we trying to figure out? That what's the course of action, gang?
First thought was put the light seal back, but we don't know if that will do anything on its own or if we need to do some sort of other type of more complicated ritual. So I think in order we need to find out what we need to do, and our closest lead to doing so is finding a way to contact Kirikima again at the Temple of the Sun, unless anyone has any other ideas.
I think I won't be going into that temple with you all. I'll be waiting inside.
Understandable.
I could try to divine an answer, but there's no guarantee. We'll know what the answer is when we get it.
Yeah, Simon doesn't in character know the results of your last conversation with your. We weren't there for
to
that.
be fair, I didn't actually divine that situation. I was just bitching and moaning, and I got a stab in the chest. So
I'm just saying, like, last time you tried to talk to your god, you got fucking stabbed, so...
Look, I've read the Bible like twice. I saw Lamentations in there. People cry to God. It happened.
That Bible, what a page turner. I must have read that thing twice.
Okay.
But I'm still prepping spells, but I'm probably leaning towards an attempt to divine an answer.
Well, you want to give that a try and see what we do before we go back to the temple?
Sure. Also, it is dawn. Simon, could you roll me a wisdom saving throw with a DC of 12?
Ow.
Okay.
That was good.
He failed a madness roll, everybody.
Perfect timing.
Honestly, very perfect timing. Read this book. Could you roll? I need to find the thing first. Why am I starting to talk already?
He's pulling out a separate
D&D.
book. I'm so fucked.
This is just specifically in the Dungeon Master's Guide. I had the player's handbook. It is not DMG 100. What? I put the wrong page reference there. Madness. 258. I will need you to roll something for me, but I will tell you what once I get to the table. And this is long-term madness table. Okay, I need you to roll both a D100 and a D10. 26 and 7.
About to go out.
Oh boy.
About to go out the way you do when you stare at the Eye of Sauron in Elden Ring.
So, for the next 70 hours, so effectively 3 days, you have extreme paranoia. It manifests mechanically as disadvantage on wisdom and charisma checks.
Okay. I think the way I'm going to flavor it is, even though Simon factually knows that he's untethered from Aldrim, he's still going to be worried about him potentially watching.
Valid. Very valid. Nice. Okay. Cool. So, Adema, you are going to do some divining.
We're gonna make an attempt, aye.
Okay. What is the spell in question you are casting?
Divination.
Okay. Single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. Okay, what is your question? And describe for me what this ritual sort of looks like.
First things first, oh shit, I gotta go get a fish. Now barring the RP of that, get the fish, fillet it open, butterfly it like Screaming Eagle, but not on a cross, and then
I just imagine you crucifying a fish.
Pretty much.
We need some liquid.
We set it ablaze. I sprinkle some water over it. I say a prayer to Thassa. And what's his name? Eilnin? I get the two mixed up. Eilnin.
Yeah.
How might We seal Elnin back away in the shadow. I don't remember the actual name.
Aldrim.
Aldrim. All these A's and E's and E's and vowels. Aldrim.
I literally have to keep a list on hand.
Balls, man. Oh.
How might we go about sealing him back away where he came from?
Okay. Give me a bit. I'll have an answer for you.
Yeah, I sprung that on you. I don't expect it.
Yeah.
It's like a message. You don't get that immediately.
Yeah.
Always love when we come up with a way to ask the DM, how do we win?
Yeah.
It's kind of more asking, what are we trying to do? Sure. Awesome. Okay. You get a response that says, oh, I need to open up a notepad real quick to try and type this out in the most, like, poetic way possible, because that's how this should be responded.
If you make this rhyme, I'm making a clip out of it.
Oh God! Don't put that shit on me.
I just love that it says the reply might be a short phrase, a cryptic rhyme, or an omen. Oh, now Kyoshi's on it.
Kyoshi says make it rhyme.
This would have been something to work on between campaigns. Or between sessions.
You're right.
Maybe just a haiku. If that's easier.
I had something started.
Okay.
If you pull up a full rhyme, I will write an entire hymn based with Asa. In thanks.
Just all sing it like we're a fucking
Don't give me
choir.
that power.
The face of the struggle. There once was a man from the Shadowfell.
Okay. It actually appears on a scrap of salt-stained parchment within the guts of the fish that you filleted. And it reads in... Actually, what languages do you know?
An excellent question.
Fish.
Definitely not fish.
Blub, 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 blub.
Common and primordial, it should happen.
Okay. Primordial is actually... Okay. It is written in Aquan, which you can kind of vaguely struggle through because it's a dialect of primordial. It uses the same sort of like script and whatever. But it says, when light and land revile it both, their powers together do betroth. Lock away king's shadowed kin, protect the living from what's within.
You want to copy paste that into the chat so we can reread it?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
Please and thank you.
What is Kai? What are Kai, Barry, and Ithvak up to right now?
Kai's been eyeballing that fish since he filleted it up.
Kai's hungry. Okay.
And actually, Kai is actually going to spend some time, and he's going to do a wild shape into a lion, I guess,
Oh.
and go hunting with the little kitty.
Oh.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Okay.
By the way, just real quick, because you actually put together a pretty kick-ass rhyme, some applause in the chat.
Thank you.
Plus
thank
lovely.
You. Yeah. And that was more or less pulled out of my ass, by the way.
It was well done.
Thank you. Yes, I do play bards. Why do you ask?
Nice.
Cool. You go hunting with the displacer kitten.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we're not going to have any rolls for that. I just like it mechanically. If you don't, I'm pretty sure you have inspiration, but if you don't, you do now.
Awesome.
And you know, you take a bit of time. It's like in that like early dawn, the world's still kind of grayish time period. And you catch, in the familiar sense to you of like woodlands, you catch scent of a herd of deer. You lead the kitten with you, and while the kitten is not the best hunter on their own, you do see that like the sort of illusionary nature of a displacer beast's supernatural gifts could probably be very useful for this sort of, for sneaking out, stealth, and that sort of thing, if you needed to use it for something like that in future.
Perfect.
Let's say you're probably gone for like an hour and a half doing that. You managed to take down like one deer, and in your lion's jaws, it is delicious.
Awesome.
Okay, Barry, what are you up to?
She is keeping a very, very close eye on Ithvik. She is not letting him out of her sight, even if the sun's rising. So she's probably throwing together like, I don't know, toasted bread and cheese and meat for breakfast.
Okay.
But her hammer is always within arm's reach, and she doesn't let like a minute go by without making sure that he's not trying to squirrel himself away.
Okay. Ithvik.
Well, since she's very clearly still watching him, he's going to try to be as far away as possible, and is going to attempt to check to see if anything in that book of his is actually going to be useful in this situation.
Sure. You have comprehend languages now, right?
I have something better.
Oh, do you? Oh, right. Right. Okay. You know that you stole this book from a ranger, and while it is written in a language not commonly spoken or read in the prime material plane, a lot of what's written here is just generic ranger stuff, tracking common patterns in woodland areas, things like that. You do think that you could use what's here to, if you had to leave and evade, or even travel over land reasonably well, that in this sort of landscape that this book talks about, which is, we'll say that this ranger was like favored woodlands quite highly. They were like a forest, like a forest protector. This would enable you to move at a fast pace without suffering any penalties for that, or move at a regular pace stealthily. Actually, yeah, with this book on your person, you have the benefits of woodland-favored terrain per the ranger feature. It doesn't seem to have anything that it would be specifically useful right now in this situation, but as you sort of continue reading through it, you do feel like things in here could be applicable in other situations relevant to a lot of the things you guys have been dealing with. Yeah. So the divination happened, and I imagine you have passed that information to everyone.
In the best way I can.
Yeah. What is Simon up to?
Simon is trying to distract himself from his guilt over not being able to help by focusing on the mission at hand, as he always does. But now, because of the orb's effect, he's starting to feel more paranoid and starting to feel like shaky in his head. But he's just like poring over the rhyme and trying to understand it. And he's just starting to get a little squirrely, and he's just light and land.
Mm.
So the temple, the sun, the people we talked to before. So we need to talk to them again, and we need to team up with them, and with them we can lock them back in there. We bring the light seal. We talk to them. We could put the seal back in. Maybe we need to talk to them. See what they'll know how to do it. We get to talk to them, and they'll know how to do it.
Okay. Awesome. About this time, you hear a set of hoofbeats up the road, like up the path leading towards the house. The hoofbeats stop suddenly just outside the house. The door swings open, and the woman that you met on the road shortly after leaving Hoshikiri stands in the doorway.
Couldn't she have waited till we left?
Oh boy.
She has a sword drawn in her hand.
Simon is just gonna like sharp, like immediately like back up, hands in the air. Wasn't us.
But you know something then.
We know the man who did it. He is our enemy. We are trying to stop him.
Can hardly call that thing a man, but he's got the right of it.
What are you lot doing here?
We were allies with the recently deceased until not too long ago, but what would you be doing here?
I'm his wife.
Adamus screwing his face up at that. Did he mention anything about that?
Yes.
I
yes.
think
He said he had a
Lances
wife
around?
Yeah, I
and a
remember.
kid.
He did.
Yeah.
There was a mention.
And that he couldn't leave until
You talked
there
to
were
them.
people he spoke to.
F's in the chat. Terribly sorry for your loss.
Please
Oh.
say that actually.
What is a chat?
The fact that it was all in the Adema voice.
To clarify, the creature who did this took his soul. He is not fully, permanently, irreversibly dead. We can potentially fix this.
Give me a...
Is that true?
That was
It's kind of.
we got the impression that he took his soul when he used his sword, his rapier on him. saw it go-
when I
they-
tried to,
We saw
when
it go
we
into a
tried to
jewel.
cast Revivify, we also could not return the soul to
Well,
the
I
shell.
mean, they do say absent from the body is to be present with the Lord.
Well, we saw it go into a gem that he was carrying. But didn't say which Lord. Were you saying something? Am I giving a roll?
Yeah. Could you give me a persuasion check, please? Remember that you have disadvantage on this right now.
Sweet.
Love it.
Nice. Nice.
I sound like a raving lunatic.
I mean, if the shoe fits. Yeah, she gives you a look. You seem awfully invested in removing yourself from this individual. What happened?
All right, so long story short, this was a vampire from the Shadowfell who saved my life a long time ago, so I owed him servitude. Contract has since been severed, so not working for him as of recently, but on his way out, this happened. He is a vampire from the Shadowfell who is trying to become a lich, and it's bad, and we want to stop it.
Sure. That means you'll be leaving soon, yes?
Yes.
Yes, that is the plan.
Why did you come here in the first place?
We were recruited by his brother to bring him back to Alvaronis.
Her eyes narrow as you say that.
And I just want to point out that we agreed to his condition that we wouldn't leave with him until he got to talk to you, and that's why you didn't come back to an empty house. For what that's worth.
Right now, I wish it were empty.
And we can make that happen.
Thank you.
Simon is just gonna frantically gather up his things and leave the building.
What's everyone else doing as Simon is handling this?
Does he seem a bit nervous to you all too?
No more than usual.
Are you sure?
Well, to be fair, it's not exactly unwarranted given the circumstances.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to
it's sick.
clean up all my sacrificial fishery and
I'm gonna try and tuck
The sacrifice.
5 gold into like a cupboard. Just cause like, you know, we use like her food and shit. And we got her husband killed. So yeah, I'm gonna tuck like 5 gold just in a cupboard somewhere before I leave.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm going to follow Simon outside and kind of under my breath whisper to him, you know there's a chance we may be on a time limit here, right?
Well, all the more reason to get going.
I mean, just saying, the thing I've got on me that lets me do something very similar, you got about 3 days to save them, otherwise they're gone.
Cool, thanks for the added pressure.
Okay.
Were you glazing over that? We're just gonna let that go? That he just...
I feel like that was direct to Simon.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And that was out of character, but we're just glazing over that.
Simon is not super surprised by Ifuk saying, you know, I could also do the same shit anymore.
I too have gobbled a soul or 3.
Gobbled a soul in my day.
Come on!
I'm waiting for him to use that mask one more time. I'm waiting for it.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna, not in character, let you know that I'm always using that now, unfortunately. It's where my
Okay.
magic comes from.
Well,
We'll
It's
see.
always at the very least on his person. He wore it on his face in that combat in the church.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I know.
Yeah. Okay. Where are you headed once everyone's packed up?
I think we're gonna take a trip back to the temple and see what we can do there.
Okay. You're taking the whole cart, I presume.
Yeah.
Sure. You hook your horse to the cart, and as you eventually get everything all sorted, you have been watched this entire time. She has traded the sword that was in her hand for a bow, and while there isn't an arrow on the string, so as it were, she does have a quiver of arrows at her hip as well. The message she is sending is pretty clear at this point.
It's a get off my lawn.
Right up.
Yeah, I do what I can to leave as swiftly as possible.
And I imagine everyone goes with, yes?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay. You roll down the road and return to the temple that you fought in. And when you arrive there, the sun is rising in the sky now, and the stone doors in front seem to have repaired themselves from where there was a hole blasted in them. The doors are closed on this temple.
Does it look like the defenses are back up? Like, I presume there's some guards or some sort of constructs or someone or something?
You see, sitting in front of the door to this temple, a white furred lioness with a pair of white feathered wings springing from her back.
Oh. I think I'm gonna park the cart like a reasonable distance from the entrance and then sort of dismount and try to politely approach.
Before we get too close, can I attempt to hide?
Can you, attempt to hide?
Yes.
Sure. Go ahead.
I don't know if Barry's still trying to keep an eye on Ithvik.
I probably would be. Like are we in the cart? Like he's trying to hide in the cart?
It's like after you've sort of dismounted from the cart before you really approach here.
The temple, okay.
Yeah.
Not gonna make too much of an effort to hide from them. I'm hiding from.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. The lion regards all of you they don't look outwardly hostile to begin with. Like she doesn't look outwardly hostile, but she's keeping an eye on you.
Valid. I think as we're starting to approach, before we get within earshot, I would just whisper to the group to have the light seal ready to show them that we're here to bring it back. Whoever's got the bag of holding or whatever it was kept with.
By the way, damn it, you did also see that the head is still in the bag of holding. The severed head of the Pirate Lord.
Oh, shit.
Essentially, everything is still there.
Yeah. Okay.
Plus the light seal.
Gross.
Yeah.
There's no air to rot the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Still gross.
You're right.
Yeah.
Says the barbarian who's turned several people. to
Okay, you know what? I have nuance.
But I think as Simon approaches, he's gonna also have like the whistle in his hand just to show like, hey, you know us. You know, the kind of as we approach.
Sure.
And then just sort of see what happens when he gets within speaking range.
As you approach this beast, the lioness stands up and you hear a growl, but it's not a like directly if you get any closer growl. It's more of a like, hey, I'm here for a purpose growl, if that makes sense. It's not an immediate I am going to kill you. But to like, be aware, I'm here with purpose, sort of thing.
I think once Simon is close enough to speak in a normal speaking volume and have them hear it, he's just gonna go, do you speak common?
The lioness sort of shakes her head, sort of like, shakes her ears almost. Like just that sort of like side to side vertical, if that makes sense. It's clear that she understood what you said, but doesn't speak it.
Okay, that's really what I wanted to know. Just if I say what we're here for, they'll understand. So, I think Simon is trying his best to like keep the encroaching madness in check and just sort of appear composed, even if he really isn't on the inside. And just we were here earlier. I don't know who's in charge currently, but we helped to defend this place previously, and we've returned. We have the light seal with us, and we'd like to talk to whoever's in charge here to see what we can do about restoring the seal, and talk to someone about what we can do to help combat the darkness that's been released.
Okay, give me a... Honestly, persuasion with disadvantage again.
Okay.
Alright.
Not as terrible.
The
Nice.
lion sort of sniffs the air and regards you a little bit. Then stands up and like lazily almost walks out of your way and lays down like beside the path beside the door.
Simon will respectfully nod at the creature and then proceed inward.
The door opens easily enough, and stepping inside, we'll switch over to the map now. I need to remove the corpses that are here real quick.
Clean up.
Yeah. Because the corpses have been removed. Let me select. There we go. Okay, everyone. Out here.
The way you cut off there, it's almost sounded like you said, "Let me slut."
Let me select all of them, is what the phrase was going to be. That is there. Okay. So everyone's sort of like in the entryway of this building.
So waiting for the map to finish loading.
Yup, you should all have vision. Ithvik, as the lioness sort of notices you, she like perks her head back up and just watches you as you walk in.
I wasn't gonna follow him in. I'm staying.
Oh, you're not going inside. Okay. Who all is going inside?
If you were, I was so tempted to just drop a casual. He's with us.
I'm coming along.
If Ithick's not going, Barry's not going.
I will go in.
Okay, so Barry and Ithvik are outside still.
We'll hang out with the cart and our child that I assume is still here.
Oh yeah, the goblin child's still around.
Okay, cool.
He's like, he's kind of like early morning groggy. Yeah.
We'll give him breakfast.
Okay. So the three of you who walked in, you enter into this. These doors are closed. You enter into this sort of like main hall here, and you don't see anything.
I tried refreshing the browser and now I'm stuck on the loading screen.
Sometimes another refresh would fix that, but it is what it is.
We've also lost the demo from the player list.
I'm refreshing. You're good.
Yeah.
Here I come.
Cool.
There we go. Barry's icon is still upside down.
You are in this main entryway, and nothing has particular, aside from like one wall being all of a sudden fixed from yesterday when it was a blown out wreck. This is, and there's no corpses left. This is still the same as you left it yesterday. The light in here does seem significantly dimmer than it was yesterday, but that's probably just because of that's just because it's early in the morning. There isn't much light coming through the glass ceiling right now. It's fine.
Okay.
You get the sense as you walk in of the eyes on these statues following you as well. The statues that line either side of the room.
I think Simon, in his frazzled state, has had enough of talking and is very aware that he's not the most convincing right now, so I don't know if someone else wants to take their turn to announce what we're here for.
I mean, I could just pull the light seal from my bag and hold it in some sort of level of reverence.
Probably a good starting point.
I think they can put two and two together.
Is that what you do then?
I do.
Okay. As you do so, and like as you sort of, are you walking forward, or are you just like standing just inside with it in your hands?
I'll stand in the temple where all the statues can see me and hold it up for them.
Okay. As you do so, you see Kirkama sort of like fade in from what ambient light is here. He now has a bright gleaming bronze shield in his left hand and a matching spear in his right. And they're not pointed at you, but he is armed now. You return. What brings you here now?
Then is gonna look around, present the light seal to them. I suppose we're here to attempt to try to reestablish the barrier, or seal, or whatever this was once.
Your effort is appreciated, but unfortunately it is not that simple.
I imagined as much, but I figured it'd be worth a try. I don't suppose you would know what the following means. When light and land revile at both, their powers together do betroth. Lock away King's shadow kin, protect the living from what's within. Does that ring any bells for you?
He thinks for a moment. Well, the light and life, or light and land part. This temple was erected as a. This temple and the light seal itself were a cooperation between gods of light and nature. To keep out the corruption of the shadows. It was the marriage of these two divine realms that brought the light seal into being. Now the seal is broken, and the king's shadowed kin. I am not sure what that would be referring to directly, but now the seal is broken. It is not as easy as simply planting the flower back in the ground.
Hadn't counted on it.
We weren't imagining it would be so simple, but we figured coming here and speaking to you would at least give us some sort of starting point, or you might know how we would go about doing it.
Such things are not within my purview. Perhaps you are from across the sea, are you not?
Yes.
More or less.
I imagine your Paylor would be able to help you more in this direction. Though failing that, the Oracle of Saloon presumably would be able to assist you as well. On the Lunari Isle, that is.
Okay.
As for what to do with that, and he points to the flower in your hands, Adema. It is most unfortunate that it is this way. But planting that flower would do nothing in this place. Keep it. Let it be a reminder of what you fight for now. Perhaps you may find some use for it in your quest.
All right, we'll do so. Is there anything else we can do that would help you here at the temple before we leave?
There are 2 of your number, well, 3 of your number missing. Where are the rest?
Well, 2 of them are outside, just minding our cart. And unfortunately, our paladin friend was struck down by the being that was released from the Shadowfell. We believe he has taken our paladin friend's soul, and we would like to get it back.
You would have to move quickly.
So I've been told.
I hope you do well in this quest.
Thank you for your help and your kind words. And our apologies that things have ended up this way. None of us here wished for things to go as badly as they have.
He doesn't seem to respond to that last statement.
Alright, you just
He just kind of watches you.
politely nod and turn and leave.
I'll follow after.
As you are about to leave, he says, "Your friend with the mask.
Mm-hmm.
Take care his own adventures do not leave you further into darkness."
Well, I'd like to think at this point I too know something of the darkness, but I will keep a vigil eye as much as I can. Thank you.
Anyone else hear Evanescence very briefly there? As you, if any of you were to like glance behind you again as you left and were about to close the door, it does not appear like you do no longer see Kirkama where he had stayed there, where he had stood there. And you are back outside. The lion still laying just to the left of the doorway as you exit. What is the plan now?
So where was it he told us to check? The Lunarian Isle or something?
Lunari Isle?
Lunari Isles.
Yeah,
Lunari Isles.
the Lunari Isle. Or
Okay.
I'm not you right now, bro. Or to ask with the Pelorian Church back in Alvaronis.
When you said Oracle of Saloon, am I the only one that thought of Baldur's Gate?
Yeah.
I really like Saluna, however you want to say
Yeah,
her
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
me too.
Even before Baldur's Gate. Like, personal favorite Forgotten Realms deity.
It's so cool.
Prior to Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
So, and I have said before, this world is a just like mishmash of 100 different lores and mythoses. So, here we are.
Would we know of this isle and where it is compared to Alvaronis? Should we do
Let's switch back up to the map. You sailed past it once already. At least once already.
Okay, so it's between us and Alvaronis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a... No, let's do that. Give me a... Oh, what kind of check would this be? Honestly, navigator's tools or history check?
Okay.
I'll give you an advantage on that.
I have proficiency in cartographer's tools.
Sure, that would work. You've seen maps.
Yeah. Okay, so what am I rolling here?
Would I still be able to help?
That'll be an intelligence check still. With your proficiency, because you're proficient in cartographer's tools?
Proficiency, that's a +3.
Could I give him the help action with that?
I don't know if I need it.
He did roll a 19.
Yeah, fair.
Okay. So, now that we're all back on the main map here, this island here is Lunari Isle. The one shaped like a moon.
The one shaped like a moon?
Yeah. You would know that there is a small settlement there, generally, like, and is the seat of a smaller religion following Saluna, or Saloon.
Alright, well, that's closer than Alvaronis, where we could inquire about Palor, so I think the plan is we get our asses to that island as soon as possible.
Finally back on a boat.
Can we get there in 3 days? Oh.
Using my cartographer tools, would I be able to measure that?
give me another check.
Okay. Ooh.
Nice.
With favorable winds from Hoshikiri, it would probably be a 4-day sail with good winds.
Oh, damn.
Oh.
And you're not in Hoshikiri right now.
Yeah. I don't know. What other options do we have?
Well, forgive me for saying so, but maybe we're not meant to save him.
Yeah. Pour one out.
I could have stopped it. It's my problem. It's my fault. I want to save him if it's at all possible.
It's not your fault.
Yeah, it was not your fault. Like, we all know whose fault it was.
You weren't there at the battle. I tried to counterspell his soul draining ability. If I had just been able to do so, we could have.
And then what? He would have done it again. You were fighting someone strong enough to be your patron of magical ability. I think we just need to take some losses and use them to make ourselves stronger moving forward.
Oh, unless a better option magically presents itself, I don't know what else I can do.
Lest we forget, their soul was not the only one of our priorities. We do have potential, well, maybe allies, and the pirate kings, or those vying for the throne, want us dead.
Yeah, that's the other situation that we've been putting on hold.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Like, I just hadn't removed your token to change it over.
Sorry.
Okay. So what is the plan from here on out, then?
Perhaps we should check in with the Pirate Kingdom on our way back to Alvaronis.
Yeah,
Chicken. We're being hunted by the guy who's taking the.
you were in contact with someone. See if they have any updates on that, and then we can just make our way back to our ship, I suppose.
I needed him as assistance with that. I have no way of speaking to him.
Then you shall have it. That is the moment I pull up the spell and cast it.
Okay. I'm sorry. What spell was that? Sorry, you kind of tapered off, Marcus.
We need sending.
Okay. What are your 25 words? I like
Just-
that the target is one special creature. Sorry.
Someone's a special creature.
Simple, direct question. What's the situation?
What's the situation? Just 3 words? You have 22 more you can send if you wish.
What's the sitch? Boop, 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 boop.
Don't really know what else would be needed to be said beyond that.
What's the situation
Shit's
with the
bad
pirate
over
lords?
here. How bad is it over there? We need to help prioritize.
So far, all of those sound like what's the situation with more unnecessary words.
Fair.
Words being unnecessary isn't a problem when we have more to use. Anyway.
The response you get, Edema, is one moment. Let me just check something real quick. Finch's men searching ports. We are safe. Hope to meet soon. look for Wilted Rose.
Would any of us know what he meant by that?
Not offhand.
Ain't that the ship?
And Wilted Rose seems to be capitalized in the like verbal telling of this message.
Okay, so it's the ship name.
Not to be confused with the Thorned Rose.
At any rate, he is referring to a specific thing.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's why I was asking if I would know what that was.
There was mention of searching ports, so we need to be careful when we get back to our ship that we aren't walking into an ambush. As if they're searching ports, we don't know if they're also searching here.
Okay. He unfortunately you don't really get any further message is a one or sending is a one out, one back.
Correct.
So
Alright, well.
it's look. Give me an well, I'll let you make a history check. Specifically because of part of your path and something that you did when you were in, like something you used when you were in Hoshikiri.
Okay.
Nice.
Alright.
You're pretty sure the Wilted Rose is some sort of establishment, like some sort of like business. Maybe it's a public house or a tavern or a brothel or something like that.
Does he know what town it's in?
I would assume since he mentioned Hoshikiri, it's in Hoshikiri somewhere.
When last you spoke to Gondrick in the previous sending, he was in Hoshikiri, and which is a port city, and the message just says Finch's men are searching port. There's no mention of changing location as well.
Yeah. So
Wait, would they find our ship then? Are they
I was
looking
gonna
for
say,
our ship?
That means,
My mom is on that. Oh my god.
that means they're searching Hoshikiri port. So yeah. We need to get back
Hoshikiri.
quick.
Hmm. Okay.
that's again, Nadema.
What?
Can you do that again? Send.
Yeah. Actually, no.
I was going to ask, have they found our ship?
I have no more spell slots of 3rd level. Did we rest after the fight?
I don't
We
think
addressed it before.
No, not after.
You
No.
would have had time to make a short rest if you think you would have been able to rest.
Sending is 3rd, but
I would have been focused on driving the cart. As much as I need the rest.
oh, wait a minute. What's my proficiency? 3. I've got a channel divinity for that.
There you go.
If they found our ship, are our crew safe?
Did they find your ship? Are the crew safe? Is what you're asking.
Yes. I would have mentioned the Azure Tide, the ship's name.
Yeah. Your crew is safe. They seem to just want you. Who is safe? They seem to just want you. Eredrim went up the coast to be safe. Yeah.
Well, that's something at least.
Okay, so we need to get back to Hoshikiri. We need to meet up with Eredrim, who's up the coast. And we need to find the Wilted Rose in Hoshikiri, where we can meet up. Any other ideas, or are we just gonna...
I mean, yeah, they've got a crew. We gotta go.
Yeah, we have to. That's the first step. No matter what other plans we're making, that is what we have to do.
All right, then we ride for Hoshikiri.
Okay. And I think at this point we will end the session.
Seems the right place to end an episode.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for watching this episode of Scourge of the Dragon Sea. We're returning to the sea, you guys.
See?
Hey.
I hope you guys, as much as this wasn't a big, like, we're gonna stab stuff session, this was a lot of fun for me listening to the roleplay. I hope it was a lot of fun for you to hear the intrigue and things that are happening.
We got some applause from Kiyoshi.
Ooh, applause, eh? I don't know if there were many specific favorite moments, but we're gonna go down the list because it's tradition at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we're gonna go up from the bottom. So, Simon, what was your favorite part of the session this evening?
I think just allowing myself to just descend into frazzled madness when his wife walked in and went, "We didn't do it! We're fixing it! We're leaving! Bye!"
Yeah, that was really tactful. That was really nice.
You know what is the thing that really puts, like, it's all of the suspicion off you if you're, like, by a dead body? If when someone new walks in and you go, "It wasn't me!" It wasn't me.
I mean, what else do you say? When someone walks in and sees a dead body, you know their first thought is going to be, "Why did you kill them?" What else would I have said in that situation?
I mean, there was like a fish ritual going on. I'm pretty sure a lion somewhere. Like there was. I don't think anyone would be able to walk into that room and immediately discern what the hell is happening.
They don't know any of that happened.
First question would have been just, what the fuck?
Yeah. Ithvok, what was your favorite part of the session?
I'm gonna have to agree with Simon. That was really cool. Really. I'm sorry.
I don't know if "cool's" the word I'd use.
Funny.
No touching, no touching, no touching.
But yeah.
All right. Edema.
Displacer kitten hunting party. Easy peasy.
That was really good. That was great. Barry.
I did like the fish ritual. Fish ritual was good.
The fish-tual.
You tried, buddy. You tried.
It sounded better in my head before I sounded it out.
It sounded good in my head too, so I think we'll just let our minds resonate and enjoy that moment together.
Let's pretend that portmanteau clicked.
And Kai, what was your favorite?
My favorite was that the dice matched up perfectly for Simon going into madness.
Bless the dice. The dice gods blessed us this day.
Again, that happens a lot in this game.
Honestly, like, this is working out so well. I'm very happy. Okay. Yeah, thanks everyone again for watching. Itchy, take us out. Send us off wherever we're going.
All right. Well, it appears that my compatriot Snowy Bug is playing some Pokemon Unite, so I'm going to send the raid over there. Thanks to anyone who watched this live, to Kyoshi and Overkill, and anyone else who was in the chat. And thank you to anyone who's watching the VOD on YouTube. As always, you can find all of our things at Ixie Studios on Twitch and YouTube. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will hopefully see you next time. Yeah.
Bye, everyone.